And welcome in everyone to the Codo Bach Pitstop. It is another great week in NASCAR racing. We had some thrilling action at COTA and getting my sound fixed, unlike the Trackhouse team getting their cars fixed in the middle of the race. I am Matt Lauterbach, and joining me from across the screen, we have the wonderful Chase Elliott fan here.
The Chase Elliott fan that just wants to Homer Simpson Ross Chastain right now. But that is me, Patrick Codo, ready to talk another episode of racing.
Yeah, yeah, Pat, we had a thrilling weekend of action at COTA. Fifth year NASCAR's been out there. This is the earliest they've done it, and we had a bit of a reconfigured COTA to kind of shorten up the track a little bit and get more laps in.
Hope it stays that way.
Yeah, yeah, I actually liked it. I was okay with them taking out a lot of the backstretch, that long straightaway at COTA. That just didn't
Waste
really
of time.
waste of time, waste of time. Didn't feel like it brought much to it, but let's get going. First, Pat, we start off, as always, paint scheme of the week. Who you rocking with?
I have a feeling that I'm going to steal yours, but I don't care. Connor Zilich's Red Bull car. That middle finger says it all. What do you expect? I always go first.
You always go first. You always go first. And yeah, you took it right there. But that Red Bull car, it feels so good seeing Red Bull sponsor NASCAR again.
Just wished it made it to victory lane, which unfortunately it didn't.
Well, I just wish it would have finished the race
That
instead
too.
of yeah.
Or I'm sorry. I just wished it finished the race and not get into a wreck.
Yeah. Well, Connor Zilich did drive the wheels off of that car in his first start. Granted, road courses are his bread and butter. He loves those type of tracks, but yeah, he drove the wheels.
Well, obviously Chase Elliott fans aren't the only ones pissed off at Ross Chastain.
Yeah, no, they are not the only ones pissed off at him. But you know what? It's all good. Everyone can all vent and we can all cry about, times that our drivers have been taken out by Ross Chastain. It certainly happened with me quite a bit. Okay. So, you know what? I have a backup option in mind. My paint scheme of the week, and I've been meaning to say this for a while now because I actually do like his newly styled car. New paint scheme for him in 2025, but he also wrecked out unfortunately in the race. Give me mi amigos Daniel Suarez's freeway insurance scheme. Actually
Man,
like that.
man, you amigos might not be driving in that scheme next season. I'll just put it there, buddy.
I gotta savor the moments while I still can. I gotta savor the moments while I still can because it's Daniel Suarez's time in that 99 car. It may not be long term as we would hope it would be, but
Nope.
we just gotta accept reality at this point.
Yep. Me Amigos has plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, he has plenty of opportunities, but he's running low on them. He is.
Tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, yeah, tick tick, buddy, tick tick. But all right, Pat, let's jump in. We got some news that is going to be happening this week. Some news that broke out today. This is a big one that came out last week. Catherine Legg, former Champ Car driver, IndyCar driver who ran last year's Indy 500. She's been getting some NASCAR exposure. She's driven some Xfinity races, but Catherine Legg is set to make her NASCAR Cup Series debut this weekend at Phoenix, driving for BJ McLeod and his team. So don't expect much, but hey, give her the credit where it's due.
I mean, she's only the 17th woman to compete in a cup race, believe it or not.
Yeah, that and the first since Danica back in the 2018 Daytona 500.
Her.
Oh
Her.
God. Yeah, NASCAR's blue screen of death.
Don't make any dumb decisions like Danica.
Oh God. Landon
Was it
Castle.
Eric Cambarolo she almost killed in that one wreck?
Yeah, she did almost. Well, no, that was Joey Logano who kind of set off that wreck, but that wasn't
Oh, why am
Danica's
I not
fault.
surprised?
that was not Danica's fault. I know which wreck you're talking about though, but I just gonna play Landon Castle's soundbite from Kansas back in 2012 when her and Danica got into that altercation, and Landon Castle said, "Well, rule number one of stock car racing is learn how to wreck someone without wrecking yourself." Because I think a lot of you NASCAR fans know which clip I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. But good for Catherine Legg. I've never had anything against her. She's a hardworking racer and she's stuck around. She's been a lot of these rides, but I don't expect much because she's in BJ McLeod equipment. But you know what? It's cool to see her get a debut start in NASCAR.
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely.
Yep. So kudos to Catherine Legg, becomes the first woman driver since Danica back in 2018 in the Daytona 500 to start a NASCAR race. And then Pat, this came out today, so we kind of have to add this, but big news from the Joe Gibbs Racing camp. Chase Briscoe, his team was given a huge penalty after Daytona for the rear spoiler being too low. NASCAR fined and severely docked a lot of points from Briscoe, but Joe Gibbs Racing appealed the penalty. And for once, the appeals paid off as NASCAR, Chase Briscoe, and Joe Gibbs Racing, they won the appeal, and NASCAR has rescinded the penalty. So Chase Briscoe gets back all the points that he lost. He's no longer in a big points deficit.
I was just gonna say that went from worse to good now for Chase Briscoe because he's been looking good in that 19 car. He's just made some idiotic decisions on the track. I mean, we saw what happened in Atlanta. Obviously, he got hosed at Daytona originally, but then Joe Gibbs made the appeal and won it.
Yeah.
So that's good. And what a way to continue your hot start to the season for Joe Gibbs Racing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a really good start to the year for Joe Gibbs, and they continue to pick up some wins on the weekdays now, not just Sundays. But
Right.
Chase Briscoe, with his penalty now, he has gone from dead last in points up to 15th right now. So he is back where that 19 car should be. We still have a lot of racing left, but Chase Briscoe, he needs this because it's only 3 races in, but his best finish on the year is 13th at COTA. He did have a good race at COTA, ran in the top 10 a lot of it.
He did. He did. A lot of drivers actually raced pretty good at Coda this weekend.
Well, let's get right into COTA then. Now that you bring it up, let's get right into it. So, we start off. We had the Xfinity race on Saturday. It was just Xfinity and Cup. There was no truck racing at COTA for the first time this weekend, and there were already a lot of angry drivers, some beating and banging going on the track, some tempers flaring. It's the Xfinity series, Pat. There's a lot of young kids out there and a lot of rich kids, and a lot of guys were not giving each other a whole lot of room on Saturday.
No, I thought we were gonna see some bumping and grinding and stuff. I mean, Connor Zilic was one of those guys bumping and grinding all over the place.
Well, Connor Zilic was part of the controversy. He had a roller coaster of a day. Got penalized for a pit road speeding penalty. That sent him towards the back of the pack, but he was going to work his way back through the field. And one of the cars that he had to get around was Corey Heim, driving for Sam Hunt in that 24 car. Heim just running part-time this year in Xfinity. And I know we've raw dogged on Corey Heim quite a bit on this show. We've said quite a bit, but he was definitely not at fault for this on Saturday. Going through the turns, I believe that was the 6A new area on the track. Connor Zilic gets into the back of Heim and sends him spinning. And that
And then
was,
you also thought Zilic and Quaffle were gonna get into it too.
oh God, they were racing nose to tail. And that's actually worse because they're teammates at Junior Motorsports.
And what's funny too is that if they did wreck, there was a guy behind them in that awesome 21 car who actually did good on our road course too.
He did do good. He did do pretty good on a road course. I'll give him props. He's had, I said this last, he almost did win COTA last year. He almost did win COTA.
He did almost win Coda last year, but well, let's be real. He almost won Coda. He
Yeah.
almost won Sonoma.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not a bad road course driver. He's been in
He's had
contention.
some shit luck, and this year Austin Hill actually finally had some decent luck, so not
Yeah,
bad.
he did. But I will say though, Austin Hill has had good starts in years past. I remember last year, and then he kind of simmered down a bit. But this year, he's definitely been the best car the first 3 weeks in Xfinity.
Yeah, man, no, what a weekend for what a a race for Connor Zilic on Saturday. Very impressive run.
Well, Connor Zilic, you mentioned him. He did rebound after that penalty, worked his way back through the field, and he claimed victory at Circuit of the Americas. We had some interesting strategy play out in the Xfinity race that we'd see in the Cup race at the end of stages. William Byron won stage one, and winning stage two, good old Harrison Burton. Your stage winner, Harry.
Oh, Harry.
Oh, Harry. But you know what? Props to them, but they weren't able to get it done and take care of Connor Zilic because Connor Zilic from the pole wins at COTA, and he is now guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. So, and the fun fact, Pat, and you and I were texting about this so far through 3 weeks. You and I have either, you and I have, one of us has predicted the winner of the Xfinity race. I got Jesse Love and Connor Zilic right, and you got Austin Hill right from Atlanta. So we've
That's
been spot
right.
on. We've been really spot on with
We
that.
haven't spot on for Xfinity. You wish we were spot on for Cup.
Well, you know what? NASCAR is usually spot on for their Xfinity races. They're not spot on with their Cup races. So, that's kind of we're kind of following in suit.
My damn pick this week completely shit the bed.
Yeah, a lot of our picks. Well, no, my pick actually. Oh wait, who did you pick again?
I picked SVG.
Oh yeah, SVG. Yeah, and SVG did not really look. He looked good at times, but he didn't finish it off good in Cup.
He did not have a good ending.
No, he did not.
Him and Bubba Wallace did not have good endings.
No, they did not. But we'll get to that in a second. But
Yep.
Pat, the tempers at Xfinity on Saturday were definitely shown. Corey Heim, again, I said I couldn't blame him for the contact with Connor Zilic. He was not a fan of that contact as well, and he took to X or Twitter. I'm still gonna call it Twitter. Uh,
Well,
after
as
the
we all
race,
are.
as we all are. He took to Twitter after the race to just mockingly put up a thumbs up emoji, I believe, and somewhat sarcastic congratulations to Connor Zilic. I can't blame Corey Heim on this one. I know we've said a lot about him before, but this is the one time I kind of have to side with him.
Yeah, but at the same time, shit like that always happens at road courses.
It
not all passes are gonna be clean.
Not all passes are going to
Especially
be.
with how narrow some of the turns looked and stuff.
Yeah, definitely some narrow turns. That new 6A area of the track, that has definitely been an area of concern for a lot of drivers in both Xfinity and Cup. Obviously, new area, I should say, with the reconfiguration of COTA for Cup races and Xfinity races. But yeah, definitely one to keep an eye out for. And then um, we had some more tempers between one of the Richard Childress drivers, Jesse Love, and the man who occupied that two car before he got there, Sheldon Creed. So we don't need to go into the history of Sheldon Creed versus RCR. We know there's bad. We already know there's bad blood, and we don't
Yep.
need to get into that history. Everyone knows what happened with that, but they caught Jesse Love and Sheldon Creed beating and banging on the track, laying the race. Jesse Love sort of initiated it. He got in really deep alongside Creed, pushed Creed up. And as you would expect, Sheldon not happy with that one at all and repays the favor to Jesse Love. A little bit later, shoves him out in the same area of the track. And then both drivers took to Twitter after the race. I'm looking for the quote that was said from the race, but oh boy, there's still no love lost at all between um, Sheldon Creed and
Between
RCR.
between that Creed guy.
Yeah, between that Creed guy. So Sheldon Creed after the race tweeting, "You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes" at Jesse Love Jr. And then in response, Jesse Love responds to Sheldon and says, "Scoreboard, buddy," which we all know what that's a reference to. Yeah.
um, Jesse Love, no offense, but maybe something better than those silly high school comebacks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, come on. We already know that you lead Sheldon Creed in the scoreboard right now. We
Yeah, we
already
know
know that.
that too. Sheldon Creed knows he has no fucking wins.
Oh yeah.
Like that's a lame response. No
That's
offense.
that's a bit of a lame response, but the beef is definitely on. Um it's we already know Austin Hill and Sheldon Creed. That was an ugly exit with the two of them at
Yep.
RCR. Um
But now it's
that's
Jesse Love and Sheldon Creed.
Now it's Jesse Love and Sheldon Creed and Richard Childress. RC. Sheldon, I'm just gonna give you some advice, buddy. If you remember from 2011 with Kyle Busch roughing up one of Richard Childress's drivers at the end of a race, just be on the lookout in the paddock area if RC comes up to you and takes his gold watch off and hands it to somebody else. It may not end well for
Yeah.
you. It may not end well for you.
Yeah. Let's be careful out there, kids.
Let's all be careful out there, kids. Now, obviously, Sheldon Creed used to drive for Richard Childress, um,
We
and
used to.
used to. And I'm just gonna be honest, that's how my fandom for him started. Was that one race at Martinsville?
Oh, I
Um,
know.
yep, yep. So, any of you wondering out there why I like him, that's why. But yep, the
You just
beef is
love
definitely.
defending him.
Hey, he's an underdog. He's. I gotta. Someone's got to stick with him.
If second place was an Olympic sport,
Yes, as we sailed, as you say most famously, if second place was an Olympic sport, Sheldon Creed would be leading the category.
yep.
But yep, him and Jesse Love, no love lost between the two of them. But let's move on now to Cup racing. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, we'll go over our Xfinity top 10 because we had some guys up here who had
And
some
I
pretty
was gonna
good.
say, and with kind of good for Connor Zilch to pick up the win, even though it started some beef afterwards. But that's NASCAR. People are gonna,
Yeah.
start beef. Man, imagine if social media was popular when Dale was racing.
Oh God, Dale would have been. I could just imagine what Dale Earnhardt would have been saying about social media with all
I think
this.
social media would have been a war zone.
Well, social media has been a war zone for NASCAR drivers to go back and forth ever since Cody Ware and Matt DiBenedetto had a huge Twitter argument after Darlington in 2017. It was just,
But what I'm saying though is that if social media was popular during Dale's days, oh boy.
oh boy. Yeah, the personalities would definitely be showing a lot more in NASCAR.
Yep.
Yep. But Connor Zilic, he wins. William Byron, who won stage one, he takes second. Sam Mayer, who was your pick, he took third. So
Oh
not a
yeah, I
bad.
did pick. I did pick that son of a bitch.
You did pick him, so not a bad day for us in the Xfinity series for picks.
No, not really.
You're pretty close. Your guy Austin Hill, good day for him. He was fourth. Christian
Hey, I'll take it.
Eckes showing up here, his first top five in Xfinity. He is fifth. He is going to be a guy to watch for alongside Connor Zilish this year. Jesse Love, we just talked about, was sixth. Taylor Gray, seventh. Ross Chastain in a one-off with Junior Motorsports in eighth. William Sawalich, a good run in ninth. And how about Blaine Perkins driving for Jordan Anderson? He rounds out the top 10.
Carson Quaffle got his karma and stuff. He was right up there in the
Yeah.
lead, and then
Yep.
fell back.
Yeah. Well, Carson Quaffel's another one too. Great driver, but he suffers from a bit of that young gun syndrome.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. Shitload of nepotism can help with that.
Yep.
But all right, Pat. Let's move now to the Cup Series race. You're just getting yourself ready because
I am getting myself ready for this shit.
yeah, we know what's gonna happen. We know what's gonna be happening. So it was a 23-11 sweep of the front row. Tyler Reddick, my pick.
Impressive.
He won the pole. Bubba Wallace showed up and won outside pole. And already the action started. Turn one, lap one. Ross Chastain starting way back from, I believe it was 12th, pulls a bonsai move, just sends it deep, and he gets right into the left rear of Chase Elliott, spins him out. And you know what? I'm not going to waste time. We go instantly to a Chase Elliott correspondent, Patrick Codo. Pat, tell me your thoughts on that move as you saw it.
Just when we thought Ross Chastain was off his bullshit. Nope. Ross Chastain being Ross Chastain, getting too aggressive, taking out drivers, and Chase Elliott said it perfectly. It's the first lap of a dang race.
First turn
Ross,
of the first lap.
first turn, first lap, not even halfway through. A turn that's really challenging to all drivers.
Yeah.
Where you just got to pray to God that you survived that turn, as we've seen it happen during the race and in past races. Ross Chastain, you are a fucking idiot for that. You are a fucking idiot. You are an idiot. You are a first-class idiot for that move. First lap, first turn, a challenging turn. There's no need for that shit, man. I was gonna, pick your scheme for paint scheme of the week, but then you pull that stupid bullshit on Chase Elliott. Thankfully, all did go well for Chase, but I'm like, dude, you also caused damage to Connor Zilich and Denny Hamlin,
Yeah.
who you two already have a history together with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chastain, get your head out of your fucking ass and race smart, because you keep this shit up, you're not making any friends. I mean, he already has been making any friends, but now he's back in his bullshit, just pulling that. Like, dude, first lap of the dang race, there's no need for that. Like, chill the fuck out, Rossi. Chill the fuck out. And that's my rant for Chastain being a fucking idiot.
Well, I just like it. Chastain went up to Carson Hocevar after Atlanta and was yelling at him about leaving him. And a week later,
And
he's back in
now,
his
a week
bullshit.
later, we're looking at that. We're like, all right, Ross, you might want to shut the fuck up now.
Yeah, yeah. Ross Chastain, your comments didn't age well. And come on, why'd you have to spin him out turn one, lap one? If you're just clean in
And
turn
not only
one.
that, too, the way he was coming up as well. It's not
Yeah.
like he was, we saw, three right turn. No, he came up there and just did it. I'm like, dude, hold your ground. It's early in the race.
Right. Right. I mean, come on. I'm just gonna be real with you here, and I speak from my experience as well. If you just make that corner and you're not an idiot, then Pat gets to pick you for paint scheme of the week, and I get to keep my Connor Zilish pick. So I mean, come on, Ross. You had to do it
I mean,
that
Ross
early.
has had his issues with Kyle Larson. Obviously, he and Denny Hamlin are gonna have, go at it and stuff. And then, I mean, well, that's not the first time Ross did Elliott dirty. I mean, we saw what happened in
Oh,
Gateway in 22.
yeah, they have a history together. That's not the first time Ross Chastain, and I can count at least two other times after Gateway in 22 when Ross got into the back of Chase and spun him out and ruined his day. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
but no, Ross Chastain, fuck you.
Yeah, Ross Chastain not on Patrick's Christmas card list right now.
Yeah, he used to be an Xfinity, then he turned to evil. I'm like, nope, fuck this guy.
Yep, that's the fandom for Patrick. Anytime he cheers for somebody, he just somehow taints them to becoming villains.
It's funny you say it's really funny you say that, because Chase Elliott, obviously, he's
Oh, he's
on.
chill?
Well, he's chill now, but 20, a couple years ago, he wasn't. He was
Yeah.
on some people's dark sides. Ross
Yep.
Chastain, I liked him Xfinity, then he turned evil. Ty Gibbs, I liked him Xfinity, then he turned evil. I'm like, okay, so any driver I like, he's gonna have to turn evil. Okay, then I'll just stick with Chase Elliott. And
Well,
then, of course, I liked Austin Hill before he turned evil.
Austin Hill, you just better hope that he stays in Xfinity because as soon as he goes Cup, he's gonna be like Ty Gibbs and Ross Chastain and turn evil.
We haven't seen Ty Gibbs pull. Well, we've seen Ty Gibbs pull some stupid shit in Cup, but not as bad as Ross Chastain.
Nope, not as bad as Ross Chastain. That move
But
on.
then there's an idiot in that no good 22 car named Joey Logano, and then there's some idiot in a 47 in that 47 car named Ricky Stenhouse, and then of course, like we're talking about Ross Chastain, who was just
Mm, yeah.
fuck you, Ross Chastain. Like, race better, do better.
Well, let's move from one idiot to another because God, it was looking really, really interesting to start COTA on Sunday. So we already had Ross Chastain dump Chase Elliott going into turn one. And then I kid you not, maybe 2 laps later, we had more contact coming out of the last, I think it was turn 20. It's, yeah, turn 20, I believe, onto the front straightaway. Um, Ty Dillon and Austin Cindric, they were racing hard towards the back of the pack. They weren't being on each other, but Ty washed up the turn a bit and he forced Cindric off track into the grass. And Cindric did not like that move at all. And he right reared Ty Dillon intentionally down the front straightaway and into the wall. It didn't cause a whole lot of damage to Dillon's car, and I'm surprised they didn't throw a caution out there, but that could have been a whole lot worse. And Pat, it's clear Austin Cindric, you just watch that. He did that intentionally. No
Of
doubt.
course he did. Any driver is really not going to give a shit and intentionally do something. I mean, we saw, Joey Logano and Matt Kenseth in 15. Obviously, we saw Chase try to murder Denny in 2023. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't blame what Cindric did, and it cost him.
Yeah, it cost them, but NASCAR did announce a penalty today, which we are seeing right now. So after spinning Ty Dillon on the front straightaway at COTA, Austin Cindric has been docked 50 driver points and has been fined $50,000 after his spin. And you know what? I applaud NASCAR for doing something. A message had to be sent, but it feels like there's been a lack of consistency because we've seen drivers right rear someone going down the front straightaway before, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, and they faced suspensions. And Austin Cindric, albeit Ty Dillon didn't hit the wall hard like Denny Hamlin nor Kyle Larson did, but it felt like that could have been close to being a suspension right there.
Same shit with Austin Dillon last year too at Richmond
Oh yeah.
when he pulled a 2-for-1 special.
Yeah.
Now, that should have been a suspension.
That should have been a suspension, but you know what? NASCAR took away his playoff eligibility, so I was okay with that.
Yeah.
But I just want to get your reaction to the news. Do you feel like that penalty for Cindric is good enough? Do you feel like he should have been suspended? I want to get your take on that.
I mean, consider that you said he didn't like hit the wall and stuff. Like we saw what happened with Larson and Denny Hamlin. I think they made the right decision finding him the points, finding him and taking away points.
Well, and Cindric didn't really have a good day at all. He was running towards the back of the pack a lot.
Well, Cedric has been driving like a Syndic so far this season.
he he has a little bit, but it's been a good start for him. Really came crashing down at COTA all in one weekend. So Austin
Yep.
Cindric is back to his midseason form already.
Yeah, we had to see that son of a bitch win in person last year.
Yeah, he was the first guy I saw win a cup race in my first race. So
Mainly because Ryan Blaney ran out of gas.
well, Blaney's crew didn't fill the car up with enough gas. That's probably what happened. Wasn't anything Blaney did.
Right.
This crew not fueling it up all the way, but the racing did settle down a little bit after that. Surprisingly, the Ty Dillon, Austin Cindric spin, that didn't bring out a caution, but we did see some strategy being played out at the ends of stage 1 and 2. Bubba Wallace, who started outside front row, he got shuffled back early because he cut the corner, had to do that stop and go penalty. I did like how NASCAR did that penalty. You don't have to come to your pit stall, you just stop in like a little off section of the track and go. But Bubba Wallace was looking to take advantage of some pit strategy, stay out, and get some playoff points, and he did. He took stage 1 over Joey Logano and SVG, who was first off pit road. And then it was the same in stage 2. You had Ryan Preece stay out, and he picks up his first stage win since Martinsville in 2023. And Pat, it was another interesting day for a guy who's had some good luck on road courses recently, but it wasn't a good day for him Sunday. Kyle Larson, his crew had some problems on one pit stop on the right rear of the car. It was a slow stop. And
And
then,
then pops off the tire. So it's
yep.
not one, someone's getting suspended. Two, the struggles on road courses continue for Larson.
Well, I wouldn't say it's been struggles for Larson. Larson's been pretty good on road courses in recent memory. He's picked up some wins there, but it just wasn't a good weekend for him. But he had a top five run
I mean,
going.
that's not the first time Larson has had some issues with his pit crew and stuff.
Oh yeah, that five team, they have had some inconsistent pit crew
They've had
moments.
some inconsistent races, and road course is not the spot to be inconsistent.
No, because that basically took Kyle Larson out of contention for the win. He had a top five run going, but he finished way back in 30 seconds. So it was not a good run at all for Kyle Larson. But that was at the start of stage three, I believe. And then we had some contact and chaos happen on lap 50 of the race. The two Trackhouse drivers, Daniel Suarez, mi amigos, who had a strong day going. He was running the top five. He got way deep in the curve, overdrove it, and then he lost it going out of the turn. He spun out, and it looked like he was going to be unscathed, but he put out a lot of smoke on the track. And
He
Connor
almost
Zilich,
took out a lot of drivers. He almost took out Tyler Reddick.
he almost did collide with Reddick, but it looked like he was going to make it through. But Connor Zilich, his teammate, couldn't see and collided right into the side of Suarez's car. And that was basically the end of their days. Connor Zilich, dead last in 37, Suarez 36. And this has been a rough start to the season for Daniel Suarez. Spun out late in the Daytona 500, got clobbered last weekend at Atlanta, and at COTA had a top five run going, but it
But then
was,
he spun, and Connor Zilic was taken out in the process.
yeah. Yeah, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but for Daniel Suarez, eh, it's not looking good for him right now. It is
I
just,
was gonna say, yeah, amigos, you're on the hot seat right now.
yeah, it's a make or break year right now, and he is breaking a lot of equipment at Trackhouse right now at the moment. And
I mean, we knew he was on the hot seat when Pitbull announced he was leaving.
well, yeah, because Pitbull, you know, arguably Daniel Suarez is one of the more marketable drivers. He has a good fan base behind him. There's a lot of people that will purchase his merch, and Justin Marks and Trackhouse, they like that. And he has a lot of personality to him. But he doesn't have, unfortunately, he just doesn't have the skill right now to back it up on the track.
Yeah, the skill hasn't been there lately. I mean, he hasn't done anything well since Atlanta last year.
I mean,
You
he made
know,
it to the second round of the playoffs last year, but granted, it kind of quieted the doubters because his teammate didn't make the playoffs, but it's definitely not good, especially with Trackhouse looking to grow and expand.
right. And again, he loads a big name to it too. So Trackhouse, I mean, they're not off to a good start this season. They're not off to a good start.
No, because Ross and Elio were taken out early at the Daytona 500. I think they finished around dead last, which was not good for them at all. And then Suarez spun out. It's been a bit of a learning cycle for SVG. He, going up, obviously has road courses at his disposal, and he ran really good at COTA, but he's been pushed around a lot at the drafting tracks, and I'm curious to see what he'll do at Phoenix this coming weekend.
I was gonna say this is a track. This is like a new um that first track that's not a super speedway or road course coming up.
Yeah, that's gonna be the big true test I feel for SVG, coming up here to see what he's
True test for SVG and a lot of drivers.
yeah, yeah, because you start off the season with a lot of wild cards. You have Daytona, then you have Atlanta. That's anybody's game, and then you have road course at COTA, where a lot of the road course leaners, that's where they can make their mark, and definitely draw a bit of a wild card to start off the year.
Right.
But yeah, not the result that Trackhouse was hoping for with Daniel Suarez and Connor Zilic. But Connor Zilic, he drove the wheels off of his car, and so did Suarez. Suarez was running top five at the time of that one.
They were driving great. They
Yeah,
was caught in wrecks.
it was just unfortunate. So not sure what the future holds for Daniel Suarez, but it's a shame that he couldn't finish it off on the right note. Um So we had racing resume after that, and Pat, we had an old friend who looked like his old self back when he was at Joe Gibbs Racing in that 18 car. Kyle Busch, KFB himself. He was back to his old ways.
Jesus Christ, where did he come from?
Well, COTA hasn't been a bad track for him. I mean, he won here in the Truck Series before. I think he won here in the Xfinity Series once. He finished second to Tyler Reddick here back in 2023. But this year, whatever they did at Richard Childress, they've been working at it in the offseason because he brought a machine to him at COTA.
Yeah,
Uh,
no. Um, yeah, Kyle Busch for once had a car.
yeah. It that's something I honestly I can't I haven't been able to say that about him in his time at RCR since Gateway 2023 because that was really
The last I, I I saw Kyle Busch's last win.
yeah,
I,
you did see his
I,
last win.
I saw Kyle Busch's last win.
Yeah.
Shit. I
You
saw his
did.
last wins in person.
You did. Auto Club, Talladega, and Gateway.
And this
So
was before we met.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Um yeah, that
Fuck.
was I don't know. I didn't we got saved from it last year, but KFB, that team, they brought it to them at COTA. They led 43 laps, a race high, and I honestly was scared just watching the leaderboards at while I was at work on Sunday. I thought Kyle Busch was gonna actually win it.
I thought he was too, because knowing Kyle Busch, once he gets in front, he's
Yeah.
no one to mess with.
Yeah, no, he looked like he was long gone. He was holding off Christopher Bell and William Byron pretty comfortably. They were gaining up on him, but it looked like they could get to him, but they couldn't get around him. They were struggling to find ways to get around him. But that basically all changed on lap 77, just 18 laps to go, going into 6A, that trouble spot. Denny Hamlin looks like he locked it up going into turn 6A, overshot that corner, and he just plowed into the back of Austin Dillon. They both spun out, and Denny was able to get his car going, but Dillon, his car was stuck in the kitty litter, the gravel, and he couldn't get it refired. And that brought out a big time caution that changed the whole complexion of the race.
I was just gonna say that was a major race changer.
Yeah, and that was not good for RCR because one of their cars was wrecked, and Kyle Busch, leading at the time, that had to re-rack him up, and he had to outduel Christopher Bell and William Byron again.
And then Tyler Reddick was catching up too.
Yeah, Reddick had a fast car, obviously won the pole, and he was gaining on them there at the end. But that caution brought them all right back up to one another, and it set up a restart. And Pat, this is some of the best racing I've seen at COTA, I think since 22 with Bowman, Chastain, and Allmendinger.
Well, with the reconfiguration as well, I thought that it
Yeah.
made it good as well.
Yeah, it definitely made it good because we had four drivers under a blanket that were all
We could have saw five wide during the race, and not just the five wide that you see
yeah,
on that before that first turn,
right. Yeah, because we could have had a four wide finish right there with Kyle
which is
Busch.
which is very very rare to see on a road course.
You never really see that on a road course, and you never really see the drivers being put under a blanket like that. Not anymore. But we saw it here. Kyle Busch led on the restart. He was holding off Christopher Bell. William Byron was gaining up to them, and Tyler Reddick was also gaining up to them as well. And it was a battle between Bell and Busch. But finally, with just a few laps to go, Busch was able to, or Bell rather, was able to finally get alongside Busch and overtake him. And Kyle Busch, he tried, but it showed it on the broadcast. The right rear end that car was basically gone. He was just
Yeah,
holding.
and he lost 5 spots because of that.
Yeah, he lost a lot of ground because he burned off the whole right rear of that car trying to keep up with them. So it basically came down to a 3-horse race between Christopher Bell, William Byron, and Tyler Reddick. They were
Three
all,
drivers who know how to win on road courses.
yep, they've won on road courses before. And we had another repeat road course winner and a repeat winner already in 2025 because Christopher Bell held off William Byron and Tyler Reddick, who were closing in on him, and he takes his second win in a row. Christopher Bell, he may be for real this year.
I would have to agree. Well, he was last year too, and the year before.
He
But last
was.
year,
Last year he got
last
fucked
year he
over.
got he got he got fucked last year at Martinsville.
Yeah.
But yeah, Christopher Bell. Yeah, I feel very confident in him this season.
Yeah.
He's a name to be reckoned with.
Yeah, he is becoming a name to be reckoned with. And I think after Martinsville, that lit a fire under his ass right there. And that just got him going in a strong direction.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what you know, Christopher Bell how he does. Because, dude, you knew years later Bell's a name to be reckoned with. And let's not forget, Matt, Bell's first win was on a road course.
Yep, Daytona Road Course back in 21.
Yep,
Second.
back when COVID was restricting some certain states at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting times we lived in.
But those
Ever.
were some very interesting times we lived in. But yeah, no, Christopher Bell, I mean, dude, don't fuck with C Bell. He's a name to watch for this season.
He is definitely a name to watch for this year, and 2 wins in a row attracts. I mean, I wouldn't quite. I mean, Atlanta, I wouldn't think of him as a contender there, but at Coda, I would put him as a guy who would be up there, but I wouldn't put him up there for the win. But he has risen to the occasion so far.
But again, he's not bad on road courses, so I'm not surprised he got the
No,
win.
no, he's not bad on road courses. I would just put other guys ahead of him, but he has won. He did win at the Roval back in 23, 23, I believe it was, or 22. Yeah.
Yeah, 22. He did win at
Yeah,
22.
22. He did win at the Roval in
It
22.
was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So that was for C Bell. He's a sleeper on these road courses. So gotta be on the lookout for him.
Right.
So top 10 in the race. C Bell wins. William Byron second. Tyler Reddick third. Your guy Chase Elliott came from
That should start finishing fourth. I'm not complaining.
yeah, from dead
He was
last.
hauling ass late in the race.
He was catching up there. Had the race gone a bit longer, he probably could
If
have
there
been
was
up there.
maybe 20 to go,
Yeah. Oh, he could have been up there with those three.
yep.
He could have been well up there. Kyle Busch faded all the way back to fifth. It was interesting. Last year at COTA, Christopher Bell got into Kyle Busch, spun him out. Kyle Busch confronted him on pit lane and was yelling at him. And then this year after the race, Kyle Busch went to victory lane to go congratulate Christopher Bell. So what a difference a year makes. Quite a difference a year makes. SVG, his first top 10 of the year, he was sixth. Chris Buescher, finally giving some glimmer of hope to RFK, who has struggled so far. They took seventh. Noah Gregson brought a car with him. He was running the top five late. He fell
I was
back
gonna
to
say,
eighth.
dude, how about Noah Gregson this weekend? He had a ride.
Yeah, he had some wheels under him. He's looking good.
Noah Gregson will find himself in victory lane this season. I'm telling you that.
He very well could. Front row motorsports, they've done a lot to put some wheels under that car. So I can definitely see that with Noah Gregson. Alex Bowman, who had a lot of penalties and a lot of miscues, he somehow rebounds to finish ninth. And then Todd Gilliland, a strong day at COTA, finishes 10th. A good day for Front Row Motorsports in that 34 car.
Yeah, no, just great day in general for some drivers who struggle at times.
Yeah, definitely a great day for some of that. But Christopher Bell, his second win of the year already, and he is looking very good to start off the season as we head to a track that he is also all too familiar with for a lot of good and bad reasons. As NASCAR goes out to the desert at the Phoenix International Raceway, we have racing there again this weekend.
Snooze fest incoming.
Yeah, probably going to be a snooze fest. And NASCAR, please get the championship race right and move it back to Homestead in a couple years.
How about a new location? I propose Las Vegas.
Hey, I wouldn't mind Las Vegas. I would
Yeah,
not mind Las.
the racing's great there.
Yeah, the racing with the new car has been better at Las Vegas than it has
If
been.
they need a new track for the championship and don't want to go back to Homestead,
Yeah.
I propose Vegas.
Well, it should be Homestead. It should be
I
Homestead.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
But who knows if they'll actually do it? And if they don't do it, I propose Vegas.
Yep. That wouldn't be a bad idea, but you know what?
Nope.
NASCAR, they're non-committal about Phoenix as their championship race in the long-term future, and I don't blame them for it. So I do
Yeah,
not
that
blame
is
them.
not the track for the championship race. I'm sorry.
No, no, it is not. But Pat, it's not championship weekend. It's only the fourth race of the year. We have Xfinity racing on Saturday with the Govix 200. Last year, it was a guy no longer in the Xfinity series by the name of Chandler Smith who won this race. And we don't have to worry about him this year. So we take a look who you got this year at Phoenix.
Who do I have this weekend at Phoenix? Well, that's a great question, buddy. I am gonna roll with for Xfinity. I'm just gonna roll the dice on this one. Give me Sammy Smith.
Oh, hey, Sammy Smith, he won your his first race back in 23. So he can definitely wheel his way around here.
Yep.
All right. For my pick, I'm gonna go with the guy, his teammate, won the championship here last fall. Runs really good at this track. Former winner here. I'm gonna go Justin Allgaier.
That's not a bad pick.
No, Justin Allgaier, the veteran of the Xfinity series, he knows this place from the back of his head. He runs
I
so well
agree.
here. So he knows how to get around here. And hey, he almost won it here last year too until he had a tire failure, sent him into the wall with just a couple laps to go.
Yep.
Yep. So that all but handed Chandler Smith the win last year.
Yeah.
So, yep. Yeah, Justin Allgaier, he's gonna come back with a vengeance. But Pat, let's go now to Sunday's race. We have the Shriners Children 500 on Sunday. Uh, who you liking? It's gonna be a snooze fest, but who you liking that's gonna get around here the quickest at Phoenix?
All right. Well, this guy has obviously won a race here before. Um, his team just picked up some huge momentum this week. His team's also been doing good on and off the track. We're going to see another JGR driver in victory lane on Sunday, and that's going to be Chase Briscoe.
That's a sneaky pick right there. Briscoe, he runs pretty good here. And yeah, like you
Hey,
said,
after winning the appeal this week, he's back in the hunt now.
yeah, he's back in the hunt. He's back up there with in points with a lot of those other guys, and this is a get right track for it. So yeah.
Yeah, my pick this weekend, Chase Briscoe.
Well, Chase Briscoe, hey, he picked up his first win here back in 22, so he knows how to get around
Yep.
this joint. All right, my pick is going to be another JGR driver. You know what? This place bit him in the ass back in 23 in the championship race, but he rebounded in last year's spring Cup Series race to win that, and he has been on fire so far. You know what? He is going to set the world ablaze this weekend at Phoenix. Give me his teammate Christopher Bell. He's going to
You're
three-peat.
going to see Christopher Bell in victory lane for 3 straight weeks? Okay.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Seabell, he won here last year. He knows Phoenix didn't go well for him in the championship race, but I think he can definitely do it this weekend.
I like that pick, Matt.
Yeah. I think Seabell is gonna make it happen at Phoenix. So I look forward to it. But all right, that's gonna take us to the end. But before we wrap up, as always, Pat, we got our winners and losers of the week. Who you got for winners and losers?
Well, for my winner of the week, he did not win, but I'm taking Kyle Busch as my winner of the week. Finally had a good day on Sunday. Top
Yeah.
5 finish.
Yeah. Definitely gained a lot of momentum.
And my loser of the week, I got to go Bubba Wallace. Started
Uh,
second, finished 20th. Not a good day.
yeah, spun out late on the last lap, I believe. He had a top 15 run going, but he lost some more ground.
Yeah, no, you start second, finish 20th. I'm sorry. That's not a good day.
Yeah, Bubba, these road courses are still your Achilles heel, unfortunately. So
Yep.
yeah, it's not going good for Bubba Wallace at all right now. Had a good run at Atlanta, but he went kind of back to his inconsistent ways.
Yeah.
All right. My winner of the week, it's going to be Joe Gibbs Racing, not just for Christopher Bell being dominant so far this year, but also for
Bill
winning that
Gibbs
event.
Racing has been winning on and off the track so far.
Yeah, they've been winning everywhere. They're like Donald Trump. We're going to keep winning. We're going to keep winning. And then finally, you'll get tired of us winning. You'll complain about us winning. I'm not actually saying Trump is good. I'm just quoting what he said. Yeah, that is Joe Gibbs Racing right now. They keep finding ways to win on and off the track. Any of you who unfortunately follow politics, you know what I'm talking about there with that statement. But my loser of the week, God, I gotta go Daniel Suarez on this one. I hate to do this, I really do, but sorry, buddy. You're not
I
making
agree.
you're
I
not
agree. Amigos has not had a good start to the season, so I agree with you on that pick, buddy.
and this was a track that he could have absolutely used to gain some momentum. He runs so good on road courses, but it just wasn't meant to be here.
Nope.
Nope. So sorry, mi amigo. Uh if I were you, I'd start wondering about silly season rumors right now and trying to find yourself some eventual spots to go to because Connor Zilisch is looking mighty racy.
He is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But that's gonna take us to the end of the show. Pat, thank you so much again as always. And thank you for your little rant against Ross Chastain because I'm sure a lot of people are happy to hear it and are not happy to see Chastain on his bullshit.
Yeah, like seriously, Ross, clean that shit up.
Yeah. Yep. It's the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yep.
But all right, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Codo Bach Pitstop. As always, Matt Lauterbach here, and joining me across the screen, the beloved Chase Elliott fan himself.
The co-host of the Codo Bach Pitstop, Patrick Codo. Let's go racing in Phoenix this weekend.
And probably go hit the mattresses as well.
Yep.
But thank you again, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you next week.